Got this thing from a buddy. Oh, we finally can harrow that back arena. But, well, we should probably just go for a quick ride. That's what I think. Okay, well, that's enough of that. Look at Roni. Oh, you guys can see him chasing Roo around like he's got somewhere to go. So now I can harrow this arena with this thing because I couldn't do it with the gator. I used the gator to do the other one, but this one's smaller. I can't get through the gate. So this little thing is going to be just perfect. I can finally rake this out. Otherwise, I was hand raking it all the time, and that was a real pain. A lot of work. So we're going to get on with that pretty soon here. I'm happy. That was fun. Sun's on its way down. Kind of a beautiful day. We got some blue sky. Finally. Oh, I'm not kidding when I say that a lack of videos has definitely been due to just liquid sunshine, rain, and more rain, just constant. So hard to get the camera out unless I'm undercover, which I have been doing Luke's. There it is. That's what I'm looking for. I've been looking for this thing. This thing here is a homemade harrow. Here, let's drag it out. Simple thing. Well, Zeus is here. Zeus, what are you doing? Probably can't see him. I've only got the GoPro because it's easier. Now, I should probably let's cut to where we get inside. Okay, so here we are. The small arena. If you're new to this channel and you've kind of come here because you're thinking, well, why do we harrow arenas? How do we do it? Or why do we do it? Or what's the purpose and all that? And you're new here. This arena was built a year ago. It's about, I think, let's see, I think it was about 80 feet, 70 or 80 feet long and 50 feet wide, something like that. All sand. Underneath is a hard crush gravel that was rolled. So the top layer is about 2 inches of sand, just normal. People ask me this all the time about the type of sand that I use here. It's just a normal sand that has had the silt taken out. So it's a washed or filtered sand. So it doesn't hold moisture at all. There's a little bit of an echo in here. You guys might be able to hear it, which bothers the horses a bit, but that's not for us today. Today we're going to be worrying about why do we harrow and how do we harrow? What's a good way to do it? So I've got, and a cheap way for that matter. So I've got my buddy's quad, because I got to get through there, and my my tractor died. My little tractor I was going to use to do this. So I had to borrow the quad, and I put on a homemade harrow. So this harrow it's heavy. It's heavy for a reason. The quad is probably not the best machine to do a full harrow with this thing, because it drags a lot of sand around and gets pretty heavy. But it's a very simple design. I've got two pieces of wood that are bolted all the way along the wood here. You can see all these bolts with washers, and they poke through the underside. Just a little though, just about that much or so. Then I have a little bit of chain link fencing that I had lying around. So that's free. And then on top of the chain link fence, so that it doesn't just rise up above, I've got some extra old chain that sort of just weighs it down a little bit and provides a little bit of extra weight. To connect it, I've got just simple through bolts to a hook, to a connector here, right there, to the chain. Chain goes up to a connector chain that goes to the vehicle or whatever you're going to use, and that goes evenly across, back over to another connector, back to this through bolt with a loop, to a little piece of 2x4 there, which looks like I'm going to have to fix that soon. So far so good. Now this provides just enough weight to sort of rake through the sand. I find it great. And then the chain link fence part goes over top and smooths it out, sort of lowers the high parts and fills in the lower parts. So then the raking part of it sort of breaks up the top surface if it's a little bit hard or tamped down a little bit or something, so the rest can do its job. So then we're going to drag it around with this thing. Hopefully this is going to work out well. And I'm going to just place the camera somewhere. You guys can watch what I kind of do. But if you've ever been to an ice rink and you see the Zamboni, which is the ice cleaning machine, they don't go in a big circle all the way around. They kind of go down the middle, come up a side, and then keep making ovals, because ice rinks are usually longer than they are wider, just like this place. And they just keep making the same size oval all the way over to the side till they come back into the middle, and then they clean up the very end. So that's the goal today. That's what I'm going to be doing. Get this place evened out, because it's kind of hard to tell, but there's a lot of unevenness throughout here, and I haven't raked it in a little while, and you can see already just pulling this has caused this to flatten and even out, and that's better for the horses, because then there aren't any, it's better for us too when we're walking around, there aren't any potholes and there aren't any high spots. Makes it a little easier. So let's get started, and hopefully this is interesting. Okay, that kind of concludes that. A couple things to note. I haven't done this in a long time, so it was super duper bumpy in the beginning. So I go around just randomly and then go sideways to it, so you go both, I don't know, lengthwise and widthwise, and that will help a lot with just getting things even. And then I noticed that the quad was actually, it was actually pulling upwards, and I wanted the tines to actually reach into the sand just a little bit. So lowered it down, and that doesn't look too bad. It's much more even, flat, very flat. So that looks better, it feels better. I'll have to do the edges a little bit. It's hard to get in on the edges. You're always going to kind of have that issue because you're going around like that, but slow and steady is always better. And you can make your own harrow out of almost anything, really. It just needs to be a bit heavy and it needs to just sift the sand a little bit. This kind of chain link fence is fantastic. You can use just a lot of chains and stuff, but what you're really doing is you're trying to get everything to sort of flatten over top of those holes and potholes and all kinds of stuff. So as you can see, much better. Much better. Except for the corners. Okay, that's it. Hopefully you guys have found this interesting. I'm glad I finally got to borrow this thing to do this job. Now I gotta keep doing it. Regular harrowing is better than doing a big harrow once in a while, you know. In fact, harrowing after every ride is really fantastic, but you don't have to. And this creates a much nicer surface. I mean, it is nice and solid, so happy about that. Okay, any questions? Stick them below. If not, see you guys next time.